Yes, students, thank you so much and welcome for this lesson. And this being our second lesson, we are going to look at a different aspect, which is also a fundamental part of language. And this second part, which is a very fundamental, is nouns. Nouns are fundamental parts of language, serving as human essential building blocks and sentences. They are words that represent people, places, things, or ideas. Nouns are crucial component of sentences, and understanding their various forms of and functions is essential for effective communication. In the comprehensive discussion, we will explore the different types of nouns and their roles in sentences, and some important rules and some examples, uh, uh, excuse me, and some important rules and examples related to nouns are: one, we have types of nouns. Nouns can be classified to several categories based on their characteristics and functions in a sentence. The first example you're going to look at, or the first type, rather, is common nouns. Common nouns, as the name suggests, these are general names of people, places, things, or ideas. They are not capitalized unless they begin a sentence. Example of common nouns are dog, city, book, and love. Those are common nouns. Names of people, places, and things or ideas, but they are not capitalized. And proper nouns, these are nouns for specific names for people, specific name for people, not a general name. A specific name for people, places, or things, and they are always capitalized. For example, John. John is a proper noun, but when you call people, cannot be a proper noun because that one gives us a general name uh, of people. That gives us general name of the item. Now that cannot be people can be classified as common, but John now is a proper noun. Paris. As we look to a common noun, city was one of example of a common noun, giving us a general names for place. And Paris now gives us a specific place. Therefore, that's an example proper noun and should be italicized. And other more examples. We are going to also look at congruent nouns. These are nouns that refer to tangible, physical entities and that can be perceived through the live senses. Example include a tree, an apple, car, ocean. Those are examples of a concrete noun. Another example is collective noun. A collective noun refers to the groups or collections of people or things, often treated as a single entities. Example include team. Team can be an inclusive of players. So a group of players can be called a team. That's why we call it a collective noun. Doesn't refer to a certain person or a single person, but it refers to the collections of players coming together to form a team. And we also have a family. A family is also a group of related members. can be grandfather, grandchildren, father, son, daughter, etc. We go to another example, which is a compound noun. And compound nouns are formed by combining two or more words to create a new noun. So found that can be two or more than words that come together to form a new noun. They can be written as one word. An example is tooth and brush to form toothbrush. Another example is mother-in-law. The in-law and mother comes together and form mother-in-law. Ice and cream to form ice cream. Another type of noun, these are gerunds. And gerund is a noun formed by adding ing. So that is adding ing to a verb. So when you take a verb and add ing to make it a noun, this is called gerunds. For example, swim is a verb, but when you add ing, it becomes swimming. And swimming is a noun, but swim is a verb. Swim shows the action, but swimming now, this is a noun stating the thing. Now, swimming is a gerund form from the word swim. Another example, another type of noun, these are nouns of direct address. These types of nouns are used to address someone directly within a sentence. It is said by a comma. For example, Mary, please pass the salt. So we are going to also look at the functions of nouns in a sentence and examples of nouns in functions of noun in a sentence. A noun can act as a subject. A subject of a sentence is the noun or pronoun that performs the action of the verb. So the subject, this is a noun or a pronoun that performs the action of the verb. For example, in a sentence, she sings beautifully. She sings beautifully. She sings beautifully. She is the subject. Why? Because it is the one that it is performing the action. And what is the action that is being performed in a sentence? It is singing. So she is a subject singing now beautifully. Therefore, their noun has acted as a subject. And we also have an object. Nouns can also be used as objects in a sentence. And we have types of objects. We can have direct object, which receives the direct action of the verb in a sentence. Direct object receives the action of the verb in the sentence. I read a book. Oh, I read a book. I read a book. Book is the direct object. Why? Because the book is the one that was read. Therefore, it is giving a direct object or objection. Indirect object, it receives the direct object and it receives the direct object and answers the question to whom or for whom the action is done. In the sentence, I gave him a gift. Him is the indirect object. Why is it an indirect object there? It doesn't receive the as we discussed earlier on the direct object, as it receives the action, the direct action. The action being done here is giving, and what was given out was a gift. Therefore, gift there is the direct object, but him, that was to whom. It answers the question to whom the gift was given. Therefore, that tells us that it is an indirect object. We also have a complement. Nouns can serve as a subject complement or object complement, providing additional information about the subject or the object. For example, in a sentence, she is a doctor. Doctor is a subject complement on this she. We shall go to the rules and examples. And here on the rules, number one, we have pluralization. Most nouns form their plural by adding s to the singular form. For example, cat becomes cats. However, there are exceptions like child, which is given to be children, not childs. And men, a man is men and not mans. So man is singular, and when you pluralize it, it becomes men and not mans or not men's. And woman is a singular, which when you change it becomes women and not women's or women's. So women already is in plural. Next is irregular plurals. Some nouns have irregular plurals form such as mouse. Mouse in the plural is mice, not mouses, not mices. And goose is geese. Goose is geese. And person is people, not persons, but people. We also have possessive pronouns, possessive nouns, to indicate possession by adding the apostrophe. So the apostrophe s is added to a singular nouns, e.g. dog. When you want to give it a possession, you add an apostrophe before adding s to be dogs, but now the dogs shows the possession because of the apostrophe in between the letter G and letter S. For plural nouns ending in S, you use only an apostrophe, and that comes after the letter S. For example, as dog was a singular, therefore we added the apostrophe before S to be pronounced as dogs to give it a possession. But because we are having a plural of dogs, or the plural dog, which is dogs, is already having letter S. Therefore, you don't add an apostrophe again, you don't add another S and put in between an apostrophe. So that means that you simply leave it in plural way, but you add an apostrophe after the letter S. To the next place, we're going to look at noun-verb agreement. Nouns and verbs in a sentence must agree in number. Singular nouns are paired with singular verbs, and plural nouns with plural verbs. For example, The dog barks. The dog barks. That is in singular. The dog barks. That's it. But in plural, we shall find that it is the dogs bark. The dogs bark. That is in pluralizing it. You cannot say that the dogs barks because the pluralization has been emphasized on the word dog. And you're also going to have capitalization and proper nouns and the first word in a sentence are capitalized. For example, London is a beautiful city. So London is capitalized. Countability, use count nouns for things that cannot be counted and uncount nouns for things that cannot be counted individually. I have 3 apples. The apples are countable and they are 3. So it is count. And I have some milk. Milk is non-count. Therefore, we use some. So students, by that place, I think you have been able to understand the meaning of nouns, examples of nouns, functions of nouns, and some of the rules that governs the use of nouns. And by that point, we get to the end of our lesson. See you next time. Thank you.